Marcus, what is the OPR, or Owner's Project Requirements?
Great question. So obviously, when you start out in this, in this business and you hear this OPR, Owner's Project Requirements, you're like, what is it? And then you start to think to yourself, oh, you can look up all the, right now, everybody, look, I would recommend look up OPR, right? You're going to get, so I just did it. I actually got 13,400,000 hits, happened in, less than a second. Okay, there's more. So when you could go to any random site and you're like, OPR, it's a so the requirements are captured in a written document that details the functional requirements and goals of a project, expectations, how it will be used and operated. That was very quick, right? So when I teach this, I basically say OPR, that's basically your hopes and dreams, right? And like, what do you right?
Unicorn rainbow, done.
Well, but here's the biggest thing about it, right? So whenever you hear these terms and you start to connect them, I always try to basically have someone connect something. When you connect something in your mind to something personal, you never forget. It's like, oh, you have a good memory. I connected it, right? So Owner's Project, like my own personal requirements. Isn't that funny? I just created that. My own personal requirements, Owner's Project Requirements. Okay. So when I buy a phone, when I buy a car, if I date someone, to buy a house, when I go to school, what do I have? I have my own personal requirements of what I want, what I need out of it. Why did I make my decisions? What are my decisions based on? It always has to do with some connection. I guarantee people are going to go, I never thought about that. But you have to connect it. So Owner's Project Requirements. Someone, maybe it's not a big company, it's one person or it's a group. They've been waiting for 20 years. They have all these hopes and dreams of this building, right? And you write them down and you put them in, and then then the next part is BOD. But let's start owners. My own personal requirements, my Owner's Project Requirements. As a commissioning person, I'm an owner's advocate, right? I'm always making sure that the owner commissioning relationship, and the team, we're always focusing on their requirements, what we need to do, how we need to get there, give them guidance, what EUI they want to get to, what sustainable aspect, what carbon reduction, what certification. We're here to help. So that's how I kind of teach it in a very quick, fast kind of way. Always connect it to something, and then you'll never forget the importance of all the areas. And then your mind starts to say, did you forget this? What about this? What about that? And then you actually become this OPR expert, and you didn't realize that you already have it in you.
Yeah, so I think the OPR has an unfortunate name. I mean, it can go by other names as the Statement of Project Requirements or the Design Brief. But what you can't have, so the USGBC are trying to fix a problem here by having this document, right? They're trying to fix the problem of poor design brief, poor requirements laid out, right? So when you get a client who says, oh, give me a LEED Gold building, what does that mean? That don't mean anything, right? You've got to lay out what's mission critical, what's vital, what we're going to be doing in there, how we're going to use the building. So this, for me, in other language would be called the building definition or the statement of requirements or the design brief. And you've got to be specific. I want a building and I want the glazing to have a service life of 25 years or whatever, right? Because all these things have money. But if you do not lay out to the design team what you want and need, they're going to give you what they think you want and need. And that is never a great way to get a good outcome.
Well, that's why this whole process is very interesting, because it's like, it's like, a painter and a muse. It's just like, you hire professional consultants to basically bring out what you have inside as an owner and what you want. And that's what a consultant's job is to do, is basically bring out the best of what you're doing and then figure out how to put pen to paper to make that dream come true.
Yeah. So the other thing people miss is the OPR. If you are on board the LEED train, and a lot of people are, and if you actually read the USGBC documents on how to apply LEED, there is a presupposition, there is a basic assumption that the OPR has been done and the commissioning authority has been working with the owner to lay that out. So the project starts
from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. But I mean, that is the premise, right? And you've got to get that. So if you are a LEED consultant or project manager on a LEED job, please know the OPR is a foundational document, and it means hiring people early. And it also, the USGBC also assume a integrated design process where everyone is around that table contributing, right? And the OPR is the start of that process.
And it's a living document. Basically means It doesn't just, it's not written, it's not static.
Yep.
It continues to be dynamic and it can change, but you always have to reference back to it.
Yeah. So to wrap this one up, I shall channel Dr. Cox from Scrubs, a show from 20 years ago that I'm rewatching. It said, "Help me to help you. Help me to help you. Help
Wasn't
me
that Jerry
by telling me
Maguire?
what you need, and we will document those requirements so we all are driving towards the same end."
I thought that was Jerry Maguire when he goes, "Help me, help you, show me the money." I don't know.
I don't know. I'm a big Scrubs fan. I'm rewatching it from scratch. It still holds up. It is hilarious.